Dave, let's move on to, I guess, a movie, TV with The Last Dance, ESPN's 10-part docu-series about Michael Jordan's final season with the Chicago Bulls, the 1998 championship for the Bulls. And
Spoilers.
yeah, sorry if you aren't familiar with Michael Jordan's career by now. I'm sorry I just ruined it all for you. It was a 6-1, so there's a lot that you missed. We talked about the first two episodes back when they aired 5 weeks ago. Now that the series is wrapped up, what are your lasting impressions of The Last Dance?
Yeah, the reservation I think people had going in that it would be a Jordan hagiography, basically out of necessity because Jordan was involved in the production creation of this doc and had to sign off on the usage of all that never before seen to the public footage of the 1998 season. Knowing all that going in, that has since been confirmed. Ultimately, this was made to bolster the Jordan myth and whatnot. And I don't know if anything really revealed in The Last Dance is super new to the discourse. If anything, I think this doc is good for being entertaining and really highlighting and showing you the big famous moments of Jordan's run. But if you already kind of knew that stuff, you probably aren't going to get anything super new out of this. And it's kind of funny. Right at the end of episode 10, part 10, when Jordan's talking about how he actually wanted to go back to Chicago in 99 and try for his 7th ring. And he obviously wasn't given that chance, and he retired. Phil leaves, Pippen's traded, everyone else, you know the drill. But that was actually a new development that people didn't really knew Jordan felt that way. He never really commented on that. And that's there right at the end. Then the doc ends. So it's like the one thing that was actually kind of new to everyone, not just people that were maybe younger and didn't experience all this, like me. That was just kind of thrown in there at the end, So yeah. It's not as this is not an OJ Made in America, right? This is more just like, here's the hits, and you get some cool footage. I don't know if anything's super cutting. Like we could have went deeper into the gambling stuff. It turns out he did have a wife. You did see his kids right at the end. Like there's stuff missing, obviously, but it was just entertaining the whole time. And there's some really good moments and pieces in it. So I'm not super critical, but you have to just kind of understand how it was made.
Yeah, I think my lasting impression of it is that the way that ESPN kind of moved this around so that it did fill these Sundays during this time of quarantine, worked out so perfectly to make this just a phenomena. And I wonder, I think it would have been successful regardless, but I wonder if it would have had the level of success and the discourse around it. If
their highest rated doc.
I think the memeability of it, and the trick that I'd never seen a documentary of handing the iPad and having Jordan's reaction recorded live, like seeing these clips of people telling these stories, like Jerry Reinsdorf saying why they couldn't bring everybody back or why they had to do the rebuild, all that sort of stuff was just so good, and it made it so fascinating. And yeah, all those memes about Jordan's face, like him laughing at one of the clips, just is so good. And I really think that that's probably the thing I'll have a lasting memory of. I agree with your criticisms for sure. I think it's funny because like they talk about Rodman going out and being with Carmen Electra or all these other women as he was out, or some of the other players and they're like drinking or gambling or things like that. And then Jordan just conspicuously is like, oh, no, he didn't. It's not mentioned if he was or was not partaking in a lot of these things, but you hear little snippets of it, like him saying before he came to practice, he had like 4 beers and was, a shot, was playing piano and things like that. So he's coming a little bit torqued up to practice, or hearing the pizza poison story or the flu game. I was like, we sure it was the pizza? We sure? Like,
I would just like to ask, how the fuck did they know they were making a pizza for Michael Jordan? Yeah. This is the 98 season where he has all this security and is treated you know, like he was Michael Jackson. He can't go out anywhere, right? This was not back in the day, right? This is, they know their drill. Jordan's got all the security people. His trainer knows what's up. How the fuck did they know they were making Jordan's pizza to then poison it or whatever? How the
Yeah.
hell did they know that? Doesn't make any sense. You
I
don't be like, hey, I got a pizza for a 5-time champion, most famous athlete in the world, Michael Jordan. Can you make it fast? Like, you're joking.
I mean, even if you were ordering the pizza, unless you're a complete imbecile, you have to assume that they know where the opposing team is staying, hotel wise. So you say like, "We'll pick it up," or you can deliver it
Yeah.
like outside in the lobby or something like that. So at least they're
Yeah.
not like coming
Obviously,
up
they
to the
didn't.
room,
It's not a pizza for Mike. You know,
right?
he has all
Yeah.
these people with him. Like,
Just and the fact he's like, "Yeah, I ate the whole thing by myself at like 2 a.m." I was like, "This is just
sure he
total
did.
bullshit." But he got him and his crew got the story straight going in, which
Yeah.
I do
Everyone was on
appreciate
message.
that. Um, you know, I think the other part of it is um, it felt a little bit unfair to like expose some of the things that other people were going through. They kind of talked about Dennis Rodman and some of his hardships, some
Yeah.
of Scotty's personal stuff. Even Kerr got some moments in terms of things that he went through in his life. And Michael, they talked about him losing his dad, and then they talked about him and his head of security,
Right.
Let there, and how he kind of became a father figure and how that affected Michael emotionally. But really, it felt like they kind of stayed away from a lot of things in his personal life. And if anything, I was kind of struck by how he felt like he needed to have his parents around so much, and I'm kind of left struck with like wanting to understand that more, like why this guy who seems like he's so able to handle himself so well in so many ways felt like he needed that parenting around him
Right.
constantly.
But then, in turn, being a parent himself didn't seem to matter that much. It's
Right.
kind of funny.
He
Uh,
wasn't interested in playing that role, it seems like, to his sons as much as he wanted to be parented and
yeah.
praised. So
Well,
very interesting.
it's just kind of funny too, because like the Steve Kerr thing when about his dad being murdered, and like
Mhm.
I knew that, but I think that was a great thing to have there because I don't think a lot of people knew that at all about Steve Kerr, even though he's obviously still in the consciousness as the coach of the Warriors, and that was really cool. But like everyone's kind of speaking with bated breath, right? It's like when you talk to like Horace Grant or you talk to Kerr, and it's like, yeah, sometimes like Michael get on our nerves, and like that's code for if he said this. If you asked him that 20 years ago, he's like, yeah, Michael fucking pissed us off. Like we fucking hated him a lot of the time. Like
Mhm.
like it's almost like we lost the punch of terms of like how much he was a dick. Yet you do have that great moment when he's asked about that. And he kind of tears up about like his
Yes.
ethos as an athlete and how he strives to win and
Yeah.
stuff. That was a great moment.
You don't want
Um,
to play that way? Don't play that way.
break.
So good. Actually, I felt like that moment was the highlight of the whole
Yeah,
thing for me. I've watched that moment, those 2 minutes back like 3 or 4 times. It was really well done.
yeah. But like the gambling was undercooked. It's like
Oh yeah.
I don't have a gambling problem. I have a competition problem. Is how he said, or I have a winning problem, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah,
Competition.
that sounds exactly like what a gambling addict would say. I wish he would have owned it a little bit more, but
Well, yeah, he goes on to say like, yeah, I haven't like lost my house or anything yet, and it's like, well, it's just because you haven't like lost things doesn't mean you don't have a gambling
yeah,
addiction. Like, it's not really how it works.
but
But
yeah, it's like we kind of like skirt it past, and next thing you know, it's the media. They're always trying to get Jordan with his gambling stuff. It's like, well, they're just following up on the things Jordan actually does. So
mm-hmm.
these sketch balls that he has no reason to be in contact with that he owes money to. Whatever.
Yeah,
It's the media's fault. So we kind of rushed past that, in my opinion. But yeah, it highlights all the major moments, all the shots and stuff. And I wish it could have. I kind of would have liked it to almost like focus on like the aftermath a little bit more. Like Jordan retires, Rodman's about to be out of the league.
mm-hmm.
Scotty has that big deal. Everyone else gets traded. Like I felt it kind of ended abruptly, but apparently Jason Hare and friends were cutting this up the last two parts in these past 5 weeks, so it was not actually like feature locked when ESPN moved this release date up. So yeah, in that sense, it can't be too critical. They did a really good job still.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to ask just two, like maybe three final questions. First, how did you feel like Scottie Pippen came out of this? I've seen mixed people feeling mixed ways about how Scottie was portrayed.
Huh. Uh, no, I didn't have an issue with it. I mean, comes from a really strong, really tough background, and he shoots himself in the foot by signing a below market deal early because he wanted money, needed security now because he had a poor family to support. I thought that all went well, and I
Hmm.
mean, yeah, he takes it on the chin when he doesn't come back in the game, but like they also like win 50 something games when Michael's playing baseball. Like,
Yeah,
so like I
they,
don't,
they make
what's
it
the
to the
criticism
Eastern.
from? Like I don't
They,
know.
they make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think where the criticism, some people are saying he doesn't come out looking that great in the dock, and some people are saying he does come out looking great. Is I think people feel like he was kind of portrayed as this, like, as not as much of a winner, as like
Yeah,
he does sit out that final play because he's not getting the shot, and he does have the migraines in that one game and can't and doesn't play through it and those sort of things. But then I actually feel like the last episode really highlights what made Scotty such a great number two, and really just like such a great player in general, was just his presence on the floor in a game where his back pretty much was shot.
right,
Makes such a difference to allowing the rest of the team to function the way it's supposed to. And, even like a Scottie Pippen at like 50-40% is better than most players in the league, or at least more dangerous in the opponent's eyes. So I think in that sense, he does come out looking pretty good, although there are some low moments for him for sure.
right.
So my second question was going to be, what is like the moment, other than maybe that Michael crying moment, that you're going to remember most from this doc?
Hmm. I like that. I like the stuff with the Pistons where he's like, I don't really care what Isaiah has to say. I don't fucking trust him,
Yep.
or fucking hate that guy. However exactly he phrased it.
Yeah.
That was really good.
I thought that Piston stuff was great, and mostly just how they kind of showed him like getting over the hump. How he came in and he was good right away, but they weren't winning championships right away, and he kind of like kept losing to the Pistons over and over, and to the Celtics in the beginning, and then him finally like overcoming is a moment. And then also I think the moment where they showed him crying on the floor after he won the championship on Father's Day. I think it was
Right.
his third one. Um, that moment really like struck me for sure. And last, is there a documentary around a player or around a season like this, or a team that you would want to see made?
Can't think of anything off the top of my head. I think the key with this is that a lot of time has passed. There was unseen footage. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a general cult of personality and fame. It's not as applicable as you might think. So
I
yeah, I'm not
think
sure. Like what especially like 10 hours of material. I'm not sure what warrants that else would warrant this.
Yeah. I think the only thing that really comes to mind is the Patriots, from the last 20 years, and that's going to be tough, because I think it's too close to it right now. But I think in 10, 15 years, Belichick's retired, Brady might still be playing. Uh, they can maybe look into what was going on, because I mean, not only is there the championships and the sustained
Mhm.
level of success, but there's all the drama, players getting cut early, Aaron Hernandez, cheating
But
scandal after cheating
mhm.
scandal. So there's just a lot to really go into there. So I
Yeah, I
think
guess that's a good one.
that's the main one. I couldn't really think of another one that fit. I mean, I think looking at Wayne Gretzky more in depth would be good, because just his numbers are so absurd, and like, I mean, just I've been hearing a lot of Gretzky stats recently, and I feel like there's a good doc to be made about him, but I've never really seen one hyped about him that's really good. So maybe that would be one. I don't know. But The Last Dance, it's a good way to kill five Sundays, and looks like ESPN has some other good documentaries coming for 30 for 30 this summer. So I'm looking forward to the Mark McGuire Sosa one for sure. And maybe we'll be talking about some of those as they come.